Spice Math. That's right. We add it up, multiply it, man. Spice Math. Oh, yeah. A couple things we're gonna learn today. Spice Math. All right. Take some time, educate yourself. Spice Math. That's right. You won't believe it's just math. Come on.
Hi, I'm Ruth Doughton.
Hi, I'm Aaron Williams.
Hi, I'm Brandon Alexander.
Hi, I'm Kelvin Doughton.
Hello, I'm Lyndon Sincere.
We are your Spice Math tutors.
You won't believe it's just math. Just math.
Welcome back to another episode of Spice Math. Today, our objectives are: 1, we'll be doing that homework assignment that you had from last class, and then we'll be looking at some worded problems. Last class, I left you with a challenge question. I do hope that you did it. Now, when we are dividing mixed numbers, there are some steps that we should follow. Yes, we went through them last class also, and you're ready. But just let's review. The first thing we need to do is change our mixed numbers to improper fractions. Then, we're going to change the division sign to a multiplication sign. We're going to flip the fraction that we're dividing by, and then we will multiply our fractions. So, let's try the question together. So, we're going to calculate. We have 1.5, and we're dividing that by 1.25. Remember, our first step is that we change our mixed numbers to improper fractions. So let's work together. We're going to multiply the denominator by the whole number. That will give us 2. And then we're going to add the numerator, and that will give us 3. We will keep our denominator. In this instance, we'll keep our division sign for the time being because we're just changing. 4 multiplied by 1 is 4, and 4 plus 1 is 5. Again, we will keep our denominator. So we're now working with 3 over 2 divided by 5 over 4. We were told that we need to keep our first fraction. We need to change the division sign to a multiplication sign, and then we will flip our second fraction. So equation is now 3 over 2 multiplied by 4 over 5. Remember, we can multiply the numerators and then multiply the denominators, or we can simplify the fractions first. Today, we will simplify the fractions. So remember, we'll use a numerator or we'll use a denominator. We have 3 and 2, we have 4 over 5. Now in this fraction and this fraction, we do not have a numerator and denominator that have common factors. So let's try to look at the numerator and denominator of different fractions. So I have 4 and I have 2. Now we know that 2 can go into 2 one time, and 2 can go into 4 2 times. The next step will require us to multiply. So we'll multiply our numerators. We'll have 3 multiplied by 2, and that will give us 6. And we have 1 multiplied by 5, and that will give us 5. At this point, you will note that we have an improper fraction, and we'll not leave our answer as an improper fraction. So we'll have to change our improper fraction to a mixed number. Remember that this is actually saying 6 divided by 5. So let us work that 6 divided by 5. I have 6, and I'm dividing that by 5. How many 5s can you get in 6? 1, correct. 1 multiplied by 5 will give me 5. When I take away that 5 from my 6, I will have 1. Now we want to remember a few things. When we're changing, we will end up with a mixed number. We'll have a whole number, we'll have a numerator and a denominator. In other words, we'll have a whole number and a proper fraction. So where will we get our whole number from? So let's identify what we have here. This here will be our denominator. This will give us our whole number, and our remainder will give us our numerator. So now we're going to place that into our answer. What is our whole number again? 1. What will be our numerator? Will be this one, which is the remainder, and our denominator will be the 5, which was our divisor. All right? Now, correct your answer. You're excited because you got it right. So now, I'll give you a question to try. When we come back, we'll work it together. Check your screen. I know you're excited to show me your answer. So let's walk through the steps together. Now we started off with our initial equation. The second thing we did was change our mixed numbers to improper fractions. Then we kept our first fraction. We changed our division sign to a multiplication sign, and we flipped the second fraction. We cancel or simplified. 5 into 5, 1. 5 into 25, 5. 5 multiplied by 4 will give 20, and 7 multiplied by 1 gave us 7. This gave us an improper fraction. So we need to change our improper fraction to a mixed number. So let us go through the working. Now remember, this is saying 20 divided by 7. 20 divided by 7. 7 into 20 will give us 2. 2 multiplied by 7 gives us 14. When we subtract 14 from 20, we will have 6. So this will be our whole number. We'll have our numerator, which is our remainder, and our divisor will be our denominator. So our answer is 2 and 6 over 7. Give yourself a high five. I know you got that correct. Now that we did all 4 operations in fractions, we will attempt some word problems. Now do not get worried. Too often students see words and they get frightened, but words are just another way of giving us the same math problems. So let's go through the steps. Now I want you, my good readers, to read along with me. What about the boys reading the first point with me? Let's go. Read the problem. That's our first step. Girls, read the problem again. Very correct. Now, I know there are some parents who are sitting there with their boys and girls, so we want the boys, the girls, and the parents to read the third point. Let us go. Identify the information that has been given. Now, you're sounding good. And I know you're going to do the problem as well as you're reading. Let's continue with the other step. Identify what the question is asking you to find. Not what the teacher wants you to find. What is the question asking you to find? When you finish doing that, what's the next thing you're going to do? Read step 5. Excellent. You're going to create an equation. And once you have that equation, now numbers, figures come into your head, and then you figure it's all easy now. I can do that. And then you're going to solve your problem, whether it be addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. Now, once you have your answer, it's important that you evaluate. Check your answer. Make sure it makes sense. So let's try this question together. Read along with me, and we're going to take our time. Jamie had 1 3/4 yards of cloth. He then bought 1.5 yards. How much cloth does Jamie have all together? Now, I don't want any discussion about a boy named Jamie or whatever the quick thing is. Let's focus on the question. So let's identify. Now, look at the question. It says Jamie had. So remember, we want to identify the information that was given. Jamie had 1 3/4 yards of cloth. Now we're going to underline that 1 3/4 because it's information that we may need. We continue. He then bought 1.5 yards. Should I underline that? Of course. How much cloth does Jamie have all together? Take a time and read that over. So once we did this, the next thing is for us to write the equation. Now remember, we have 1 3/4. He then bought. He didn't give it away. So if he bought it, it means that he now has more. So we add in that 1.5 to the 1 3/4. So equation would be 1 3/4 plus 1.5 equals. Now this is where we're going to go to the board and work it together. I know you can do that question, so start and come back with the answer. Okay, we're back. Look at your answer. Do you think it's correct? Reason, if for example you have $1.00, $1.75 as a matter of fact, and you add it to $1.50, would your answer be less than $3? Oh no. So let's work together. We added our whole numbers, we got 2. Now remember, or you will notice that the denominators are different. So we found the LCM of 4 and 2, and that is 4. We divided the LCM by the denominator of the first fraction, that gave us 1. We multiply that answer by 3, and that gave us 3. We kept our operation sign, which is addition, and we continued. We divided our LCM by the denominator of our second fraction. 2 into 4 is 2, and then we multiply that by 1, which gave us 2. We carried our whole number. We added 3 plus 2 is 5, and our LCM is our new denominator. Now this 2 and 5 over 4 is the same as 2 plus 5 over 4. Now you realize that the 5 over 4 is an improper fraction. So what do we need to do? Tell me. You're correct. We need to change that to a mixed number. So right over here, and I know we have some persons who did that in their head, and I want to give you a thumbs up for that. Now we divided 5 by 4, gave us a whole number of 1, a remainder of 1. Whole number will be 1, our remainder will be 1, and our divisor will be our denominator. So we came back. Remember we said it was 2 plus 5 over 4. We have our 2. The 5 over 4 has been converted to a mixed number, and that's 1 and 1 over 4. When we add 2 plus 1 and a quarter, our answer will be 3 and 1 over 4. Very good. All right, so we're going to put 3 questions for you to do, and then we'll come back to check your answers. All right, so let's check our answers. Now, it's important that we go through our steps. So while you have the answer waiting, we go through the steps together, just in case you missed something or you made a mistake somewhere. Now, is there a parent challenging their child to see who got the most answers correct? Well, let's see who won now. Our first question says that Natasha had 3.5. So we want to keep that information because that is something that they gave us. She had 3.5. She gave 1.25 to her sister. She gave. Is she getting it or is she giving it away? She's giving it away. So she's subtracting. It will be take away. All right. So we're going to take away that 1.25. Now, how do I know that that is correct? Am I following the right steps? My question asks, how much pizza does Natasha have remaining? Remaining would be what is left. All right? And in order for us to find out what is left, we must subtract or take away a quantity from another quantity. So, tell me, what do we do here? All right? Let's work with our whole numbers. We have 3 minus 1, and that will give us 2. What do you notice about the denominators? Yes, they're different. So I should find the LCM, and the LCM of 2 and 4 is 4. Now there's a boy out there. You want to tell me what is it that you have written there? All right. So you divided the 4 by 2, and that gave us 2. We multiply our answer by our numerator, and that will give us 2. Remember the operation sign. We're working with subtraction. 4 divided by 4, it's 1. 1 multiplied by 1 will give us 1. So now we'll have an answer of 2. 2 minus 1 is 1 over 4, which will give us 2.25. So if you're Natasha, you still have a lot of pizza left. Your sister does not have more pizza than you have. All right, so let's go to our second question. Jill needs 2.5 yards of cloth. How much cloth does Jill need to make one dress? 2.5, correct. If she has to make 5 of these dresses, now it means that Jill is making 5 dresses, and each dress will require 2.5 yards of cloth. Now, I can hear some of you saying, well, I'm going to add 2.5 plus 2.5 plus 2.5 plus 2.5 plus 2.5 until you would have added 2.5 5 times. Now, that is not incorrect. But a quicker way to do it is that we can multiply our 2.5 by 5. So let's work that together. 2.5 multiplied by 5. Why? She's making 5 dresses. Each dress requires 2.5 yards of cloth. We have a mixed number here. What do? Correct. Change to an improper fraction. So denominator multiplied by whole number will give me 2. Add my numerator, I will have 5 over 2, and I'll multiply by 5. I'll put my 5 over 1, so it has the fraction look. All right, so let's work that together. 5 multiplied by 5 will give you what? 25, correct? And 2 multiplied by 1 will give you 2. At this point, you're so familiar with what we should do. Tell me, we need to divide 25 by 2. So I have my 25, and I'm dividing that by 2. For those of you that already have the answer, now have a little patience while we get everybody on board. So, how many 2s can I get in 25? I can go 20 will be 10, 22 will be 11, 24 will be 12. Will that be correct? Okay. So 12 multiplied by 2 will give me 24. So I'll have a remainder of 1. So let's place. What do we usually do? We know that our whole number will be this whole number we use. Our remainder will be our numerator, and our divisor will be our denominator. So let's use it over here. What's my whole number? 12. What would be my numerator? That answer, that was the remainder, correct? And what is that? 1. And what would be my denominator? My divisor? Wow, very good. That would be 2. So the answer is that JL will need 12.5 yards of cloth to make her 5 dresses. You got that correct? You made a little mistake? Oh no. You understand now? Very good. All right? And then we'll move to our last question. Now at this point, I want the parents who are watching with their children to read that question with me. Let's go. Michael has 4 3/4 meters of rope. He cuts the rope into lengths of 1/4 meter. How many pieces of rope did he get? So, what is the information that was given? 1, we know how much rope Michael had. We know the length of each piece. And they're asking us how many pieces. So in other words, he has a length, he broke it or cut it into pieces. Now when we break it up into pieces, what's the synonym? Give me a D word. Miss, we dividing, correct. So what are we dividing? We need to divide how much he had. Okay, so how much rope did Michael have? He had 4 3/4. Wow, you are with me and I'm so happy. What is the length of each piece? 1/4, correct. Are we subtracting? Are we multiplying? We're going to divide it into lengths of 1/4. All right, some people are hurrying along. Let's go together. 4 by 4 will be 16. 16 plus 3 will give me 19. So I'll have 19 over 4. What do I do with that division sign? Change it to a multiplication sign. And what do I do with my second fraction? I'm going to flip it over. Very good. So I have 4 over 1. Now if you're looking, you realize that I have a numerator and a denominator that are the same. So therefore, I can simply do what? All right. So 4 into 4 will be 1. 4 into 4 will be 1. 19 multiplied by 1 will give me 19. And 1 by 1 will give me 1. So 19 over 1 is the same as 19. Now remember we said after we solve our equation, it is very important that we evaluate or check our answer. Is there a possibility that I can have a rope, the length 4 3/4, cut it into pieces of 1/4 each and end up with 19 pieces? 19 pieces from one piece of rope? Yes. Why? Because we broke down that 4 3/4 into smaller pieces. All right? So we will have 19. Somebody else may have done it a different way, but let's ensure that when we do our questions, we can work step by step and get to the correct answer. So at this point, we would have completed our fraction series where we did multiplication, addition, subtraction, and division of fraction, and then we brought it all together by doing some word problems. Okay, very good. So thank you, and we'll see you next time.
You won't believe it's just math. Come on. You won't believe it's just math.